Good morning. I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day. Now, it's the last Friday of the month, which means that, as always, it's time for me to update my 2019 in music playlist on Spotify. For anyone who doesn't know what that is, every month I take 10 new songs that I add to a Spotify playlist that'll be linked down below, with the goal being that at the end of the year, I'll have a whole playlist which will be kind of like my musical journey throughout that year. It's all stuff that I discover in that month. Every 5th song is a piece of instrumental music, and every 10th song is a piece of music that holds significant value to me. So those aren't new things I've discovered. They're important pieces of music from my past and growing up and all of that kind of stuff. However, I do have a bit of a confession to make before I make this video. I've kind of failed in the planning and making of this playlist edition this month, because usually what will happen is I'll constantly be making notes of tracks that I want to add to the playlist and things that pop up when I'm listening to Spotify. But I haven't really been listening to much music over the last month, if I'm honest. I've been making more music than I've been listening to. And I was thinking before making this video that maybe I should just like chuck in a load of songs that I think are okay and that I quite like for the sake of it, but it's not really good work ethic doing that. Yeah, basically it's only going to be 5 songs this month, and I'm really sorry. If I have a really good month of music listening, next month I'll add 15 new songs then, but probably not. So without any further ado, track 1 on this month's playlist update is by the wondrous Katy Perry and is her latest single, Never Really Over. I love Katy Perry, not quite as much as Kylie Rae Jepsen, but it's pretty close. However, I really like old Katy Perry. Teenage Dream, Wide Awake, California Girls, all of that era Katy Perry, I just think is iconic pop music. But the last album she released, I just wasn't really much of a fan of. I felt like the music went a bit too weird for me, which is odd because I like some very weird music. There's something annoying to me about really massive pop artists trying to be weird, because it always seems a little bit contrived, like they're trying too hard. Like an artist like Bjork, for example, who's always been weird, it's like fine. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent there. So yeah, Katy Perry, her latest single, Never Really Over, heard that for the first time about a week and a half ago, and it just blew my mind with its production. The production on that track is out of this world, and the mixing as well. It's really creative uses of reverb, and I'm sure like you've probably heard it, it's a massive hit at the moment. There's the really fast sung hook section, which is I think what grabs a lot of people, but I just love the track as a whole. I think it's a really good example of a brilliantly written pop song, and it just makes me smile a little bit, I guess, when that first synth pluck comes in. Track 2 on this list is by an artist called Joel, or Olay, or Jolay, I don't really know, whoever that guy is over there. And the track is called Picture Perfect. It's a wonderful little sort of acoustic singer-songwriter track that came on my Spotify release radar the other day. And I just love the vocal melody on it, the good but kind of soft and intimate production values on there too. There are really nice string parts that come in. Vocals, really nice. Kind of sounds a bit like a cross between Justin Vernon and Benjamin Francis Leftwich. It's quite a short piece of music, which I like. It doesn't linger too much, which I think some acoustic-y music can. But there's this lovely swell that happens towards the end that builds and then eventually kind of collapses back in on itself, leaving you with just his voice and guitar as it was at the beginning, and it's just a very nice piece of music. Track 3 is by Manchester Orchestra and is called My Backwards Walk. Manchester Orchestra are a brilliant indie rock band from Atlanta, and this is their latest single release. It is a wonderful track, and I love the elements of post-rock that are in there as well. Sprinkles of bands like This Will Destroy You and Mogwai, you know, these kind of gradually growing guitar-y, drony sounds alongside kind of rhythmic strumming patterns that are going on as well. The lyrics are great, and then at the end of the track, when the drum beat finally kind of kicks in, it's so satisfying, it sounds so great, and it's just a really good track. So yeah, that's track number 3 on this list, My Backwards Walk by Manchester Orchestra. Track 4 this month is by an artist called Julian Baker and is called The Modern Leper. I love Julian Baker, I have done for a long time, but I feel like I've never really mentioned her on this channel before. I don't know why that is. And this is a great single of hers that I feel like has elements of her music that are recognizable that I really like, and is also a little bit different as well. The lyrics are wonderful, as they almost always are with Julian Baker's work. When the drums finally come in, it's so good. And the other thing I love about this is after the big climax of the track, it slows down, but her vocals sound really roomy. Now, I don't know, that's because they were recorded with her in a room with a microphone quite far away, or if they just used quite a good room reverb plugin on her vocals. But either way, it sounds really nice, and it closes the track off really well. So that's track 4 on this list, The Modern Leper by Julian Baker. And so finally, we arrive at the 5th track in this list, and as is the case in the other playlists, I always have the 5th track as a piece of instrumental music, and I'm going to do that again this time. So it's a piece of instrumental music that had some meaning to me this month. Can you guess what it is? Correct, it's In Flight by me. This month's playlist is such a waste of time and I'm so sorry. I really truly am, to anyone who's watching this, that I have not done my research properly this month and come up with a good list, or at least a better list of music for you. But yeah, track 5 is a piece of music that I wrote and released called In Flight. It's instrumental, it's like ambient, chill out vibes, I guess. But yeah, that's it. Those are the additions to the playlist this month. Thank you so much for watching. Links to all of my music and socials and whatnot are down in the description there. I really do hope that you've enjoyed this. Have an absolutely fantastic day, and I'll see you very soon.